nice.
In part one of our trip, we found our way to Camberwell and then headed north up to Lawn Hill. In this part, we'll be travelling from Lawn Hill up towards the Savannah Way, join that road and head up to Burketown, from there to Leichhardt Falls and then to Normanton. So after Lawn Hill, we kept on heading northward bound. We went past a camping ground called Adele's Grove, which is where a lot of people do camp. They stop there just before to get to Lawn Hill. It looks like a nice campground, but it's not our scene, so we kept on going past there, looking for somewhere else to stay the night. Soon after that, you get to a turn off to the Lawn Hill station. So you take a right there and you encounter quite a lot of gates, because it's a lot of private land that you go through. This particular one here, you go through the gate and you end up on an airstrip. So you end up driving along the airstrip for a while. Soon after that, you get to the Lawn Hill Creek again, and some lovely little crossings there you go through, and we would have loved to have camped there tonight, but they have no camping signs up, so we kept moving on. In this sort of landscape, there's so many roads, and it gets you confused, and it's all a bit vague on where you should be going. Of course, it's through private land, so if you've got a GPS system, that's always good, and you know what's going on. And along the way, there was this feature marked on our map, the cross on the hill, and as you're driving along, you can see on the left there's a hill, with a dirty big white crucifix cross on top of the hill. So we thought we'd have a crack at driving up there, and these things look okay from down below, but once you start driving up, it's a different story. It was very shaly, slippery, hazardous, and even with the lockers on, it just wasn't getting any traction. And because of our quite heavy rooftop tent, I decided that it wasn't a good idea to continue on. So the hill betters, and also Julie was getting worried.
No. Going all right?
Yeah.
Access to Hell's Gate through Bowthorn, Hell's Gate via Daintree.
Sorry, mate. So I'm airing up again. We've made it onto the Savannah Way. Now what I found is I've just got an ARB single compressor, no tank. What I found that roughly 10 seconds equates to 1 psi. The front was 22, the back was 30. Bearing in mind again that we are over 3.5 tonne. So I've had to put in an extra 14 pounds extra, which equates to 140 seconds. And my film lady is counting the seconds via her phone, which you can count pretty good just by yourself, you know. So here's my ARB connection, but this little pin here is a real bugger. If you push up too much, it comes off, gets lost in the dirt, and I'm going to have to bend that little tab up to stop it from coming out. ARB, do a better job. So my air compressor is cupboard in there. Got plenty of air circulation around, and the outlet sticks out through here. So I just plug it in. Away we go. 200 seconds. Burketown's a nice little country town, and it was great to get to the coast again and just smell the salt air. And I think here we're just reflecting on how wonderful it would have been to have a boat here that we could launch maybe one day.
Hot water.
Just outside of Burketown, there's these hot springs.
Sinking of the bore was an important new facility for Burketown and an indicator of the expected economic development of the area. The Gulf country's currency.
And because it's been flowing continuously for years, it's a haven for wildlife, and I guess all the minerals that are in the water just create all these wonderful colours.
Yeah, I've got really black stuff on.
And mud. Yeah, around about 70 k's southeast of Burketown, there's the Leichhardt Falls camping area. Quite a spectacular place. Lots of camping sites, but it looks like it's always busy. So once again, we try to get in a more secluded area. So we took off up this particular little track back up the river. And as you can see, I got bogged in some very soft powdery sand. Now here is an important lesson. When you are bogged, before you do anything, lower your tyres down. And if you're still bogged, lower your tyre down even further, because that will most likely get you out of any situation. But I had these recovery boards that I hadn't really used, so I thought I'll give them a go. These are treads, quite a good quality product, and as you can see they work. They pop you right out straight away, but I kept getting bogged, and then I thought, well, yeah, just do the right thing and lower your tyres down. It might have gone down to 15, I actually forget now, but as soon as I did that, I had no worries at all. So earlier on I collected some firewood and laid it next to the fire, and later on that night out came this snake, a python. I'm pretty sure it's not dangerous, but it gives you a bit of a fright when it just drops out of your wood. All around that area, this is still the Leichhardt Falls area, you can continuously hear the sounds of these birds. Yeah, they were corellas, and they were literally thousands of them. And they just decimate the trees, completely denude them of all the leaves, and you can see them all on the floor there, and so loud. Moving on from there, it didn't take us too long to get to Normanton. We also went to Currumba, just north of Normanton, which by the way is much better shopping up there, but all very busy, so we decided to keep on going and find a more secluded camping site. Our plan from here was to go from Normanton to Dunbar, along the Dixie Road, join the PDR, go through Cowan and get into a national park where we're going to arrive at a campsite called 10 Mile Junction. Gilbert River. This is Mitchell River. The main concern was here that we would be able to get past. They had done a lot of work in getting rid of the sand sediment. So here we are at a lovely creek called Alice Creek. It's on the Dixie track from Dunbar to Peninsula Development Road.
Yeah.
Anyway, just stumbled across this one. Had no idea it was here. So it's beautiful. Just been fishing. And I had a quick swim.
Yeah.
Even though I did see a crocodile over there.
Which
A
is
little
still
one.
there.
Which is still there. And there's one over there. And there's one over there. And we can't quite work out how big they are. But I think they're just small. The theory is that if there's a lot of little crocs around, there won't be big crocs around. That's the theory. I should ask the experts about that. We camp right next to a river. I don't know if that's the best thing to do, but it's certainly beautiful. It's always a good idea to keep checking what's happening underneath the cart. It's always better to find something that might be a potential problem before they get really bad. The roads through here were remarkably good. and weren't busy at all. And this track also provided some surprisingly interesting things to see. This one area here called 8 Mile Creek, a walking track in a loop that the Aboriginal community provided. It didn't present itself as an interesting thing to do, and I guess not many people actually stopped, and the backburning didn't help that matter, but it was just a lovely, lovely place. We eventually got onto the PDR, the Peninsula Development Road, and once again I was just shocked at the road, just corrugations, so busy, there's so many people out there trying to escape the COVID situation, etc. Anyway, we had to get to a place called Musgrove to fuel up, and yeah, and there was lots and lots of people there wanting to do the same thing. And we couldn't wait to get off that road. We just had to get off it, and because we've been so used to, you know, just quiet, secluded areas, which we did. We found this lovely spot. But eventually we had to get onto the PDR again to continue our way up through Cowan, and then shortly after Cowan we had booked ourselves into a national park called Oyala Thamatang National Park, where we eventually got to 10 Mile Creek Junction, and we wish we had booked in there for more than one night.
This is nice.
This is Archie River, right where it joins 10 Mile Creek, which is right there. So from 10 Mile Junction, we decided we'd go and pay a visit to Weipa. Always wanted to just sort of check that place out, just for interest. You know, it's a mining town. I thought, well, since we're up here, let's go and have a look. I just thought I'd show you the road conditions going in towards Weipa. Now, it's pretty horrific with the corrugations and that you can see, and most of the time you're actually driving on the shoulder of the road right over to the shop. But this is like paradise compared to the PDR. Because it's a mining town, it looks like they maintain the track a lot better than the PDR, so a lot better travelling. we stayed one night at the caravan park here, and the shopping is great. So it's well worth going into Weipa for shopping and fueling. And also a great way to slice off a bit of the PDR. There's a lovely beach north of that called Penny Father Beach. When we got onto the beach, we had a quick chat with the locals, and they told us that one thing is to not drive up where we have been driving in that area, because turtles lay their eggs there. So we went up further in the sand dunes. You either go into the sand dunes or drive along the nearer to the water's edge. You know, there's many spots along this beach to have a camp. We found this lovely one, and we ended up staying here for 3 nights. Yeah, on a beautiful morning, Tuesday morning, and we've got this beautiful beach on the west side of Queensland, on the Gulf of Carpentaria. Beautiful stretch of coastline, goes for miles and miles, both directions, and a lovely place to set up camp amongst the she oaks. Bit of a peculiar thing happening is that you got the sand coming up, and you can see people can drive their cars along there, which, you know, is all nice, but it does make the beach look a bit ugly. But anyway, you see, you got the sand coming up to the sand dunes, and then you've got a line of she oaks, quite large she oaks, which offer perfect camping situation. There's our camp up there, and then it goes off into the scrub. So a bit unusual, that, but unfortunately, like a lot of beaches around, there's a lot of rubbish, and I think 90% of this rubbish here is all stuff that's come in from the sea, from various things, fishing boats, cargo ships that have lost stuff, and just, you know, rubbish that enters this ocean. And there's absolute tons of it here, so there must be mountains and mountains out there. It's just a consequence of us being human. All this plastic stuff and rubbish and not looking after it. Anyway, as you can see over here, Julie has decided she's going to clean up the beach. It would go for 10 kilometres that way, and I think about 50 kilometres that way. And she's just started, and she's got a mountain of it already. So we're going to be here a long time. Also, we had troubles with the fridge. It was because of all the corrugations. The fridge door hinge system just wasn't able to handle the stress, so I had to make some makeshift repairs on it, and it ended up being that good that, you know, it was fine throughout the whole of the trip. It's not actually good, and it'll probably remain like that for the rest of its life. Going in there again. A little bit smaller, that one. Anyway. Feisty one. Trying to bite. I'll wash him off. Up, he's trying to bite me. So I could use him for bait, but I won't. Come on. Now he's all right. Now he's all contented. He's resigned to the fact that he's going to get eaten, and he's going to lay down there and die. Oh no! Now he's going. He's going up the tree. Yeah. Julie's driving, four-wheel drive, and we're heading out of Pennyfather River Beach, and we have to be careful of our roof, so it's a little bit nerve-wracking. Anyway, it's all good practice, and this is a faster track out of the beach rather than going along the beach or along the sand dunes. So remember that next time you come back.